Hi ladies, welcome to our Panimi. Happy Chanukah. Here we are sitting beside the menorah. I have two questions for you. One, what would it feel like if you could have a global influence? Would you like that? Would you not? Two, do you believe that your little mitzvah really has a big effect? And I guess three, what would be the implications in your day-to-day life if some of that were true? So I'll tell you that a number of years ago, I was at class, and the teacher, who was a very dynamic teacher, pulled out a tzedakah box and stood in front of the audience, put a coin in the pushka, essentially did the mitzvah of tzedakah, and asked everybody, did you just see that burst of light? And everybody was kind of quiet and uncomfortably quiet. They probably thought that he saw the burst of light, and they didn't. Immediately he said, I actually didn't see the burst of light, but when you do a mitzvah, there is such a light that's achieved, that happens. Now, the difference between every other mitzvah and the mitzvah of the Chanukah menorah is that when you do this mitzvah, you actually get to see a tiny bit of that burst of light. Here's the light. So it's obviously an unbelievable mitzvah. And what it is it's a window into the secret world, behind the scenes of what happens, all that stuff that we learn and we hear about, all that deep mystical stuff. This is a peek view of that mitzvah, of that world. So going to the question of, do I have a global effect? In 1992, the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, I want to tell you a fact about science, and I want to tell you some facts about truth. There at that time, that Chanukah, a satellite had been set up. Satellites are pretty old technology now, but at that time it was revolutionary. Satellites were set up, and in front of 770 Eastern Parkway, there were trucks and trucks and trucks, huge tractor trailers with equipment down the block, so that this Chanukah Live could happen. So that essentially you could have a number of countries and a number of cities having this Chanukah Live simultaneously. And the people who sat at the controls could see on the screens everybody lined up in all the cities and all the countries all over the world lined up simultaneously. And the Rebbe said that Hashem, that God himself, to make it easier for us, I'd like to look at the words, in order to make it easier for a Jew to understand and to grasp that what he does in one little place has a connection with the entire world, that what we do here now is global, always. Our little mitzvah is always global. Beyond global. It's in the heavens and the earth. It spans all of the constellations. My little act, my little tzedakah, lighting the menorah, my little supposedly tiny, minute act, God wanted us to realize, he wanted to make it easier for us to understand that this is global. So what did he do? So he pulled out the secrets of the world, and he gave us something called a satellite. That was then. Today, it's all of that is on a microchip. All of that is on your phone. You can do a Facebook Live. Satellite is a joke. But let's say that the template for this global effect, global technology was the satellite at that time. And what it did is it revealed a truth that no one would ever believe. That the world itself, the secret of the way the world works is, you would think that everything is different. Doesn't the world pride itself on everything being different? No two eyelashes are the same. No two carpets are the same. No two cars and sidewalks and trees. Everything's different. We're unique. Everything's unique. Everything's separate. That's the way the world looks. And yet, the truth, the deeper truth, even than that, is Ein Od Milvado. Hashem echad u'shmo echad, everything is one. It's all one unit. How did the satellite enable us to see it? Because all of these distant places on the earth, in the world, that have a lot of space between them, thousands of miles between them, and that's why if I'm sitting in New York, I can't really see, or I couldn't then see which child is playing outside before he goes to school in the morning in Melbourne, Australia, because I wasn't in Melbourne, Australia. So I couldn't see it because it's way too far away. The truth is, all you have to do is cut out the space between them, and it's all one entity. Proving that the most basic fact of science and nature is it's all one entity. Came along technology, as the Rebbe said, God pulled out the secret of the world to create a technology that would put visually in front of us the truth. Everything is one. Everything is unity. Everything. So that's a powerful piece of information, that the world itself is declaring unity. So what's the call to action? And what do we have from Chanukah? Chanukah, we have miracles. We have access to miracles such as the ability to cut out time and space. If you ever edited a video or an audio, what you see on the screen are a lot of squiggles, and then when you have a part that you don't want, you cut them out and you splice the two together. What if you could splice locations together? You walk into a store, you want a certain product, and they say, well, we'll order it and it'll be here on Thursday. And you don't want to wait till Thursday. What if you could just splice out the space? First of all, it's in the warehouse in Arkansas, and I'm in New York. What if I could splice out the space between Arkansas and New York? And what if I could splice out the time between now and Thursday? That would be amazing. That's probably what it will be like in Mashiach times. Why? Because that separating space and time and space between all things will be non-existent. Everything will be spliced together. Imagine if we had an app that enabled us to do that now. Would be pretty Mashiach-dik. So I would suggest that the call to action for Chanukah is that we want to be cognizant of the kind of light that is available to us on Chanukah. The kind of light that we make available to the world with our tiny mitzvah. Do you see how this menorah doesn't look like separate candles? It just looks like a burst of light. That's probably because that's the truth of the way it is. You can say it's a camera misfunction, fine. But I would say we are happening to have a peek view into, a small view into a deeper reality about the menorah and a deeper reality about the miracles that are possible in our lives. Through the menorah, through Chanukah, we light the menorah, we look at the candles, we look at the flames, and they tell us a story. And they infuse us with miraculous powers, with the ability to believe in miracles, to look forward to miracles, to understand that our lives are miraculous, to understand that the world today, as difficult as it looks, is miraculous. And what we want to do is live in that Chanukah miracle space the entire year. And just as Chanukah began, the very first Chanukah, finding that little cruse of oil that illuminated the generations, surely the miracle of Chanukah and the light of Chanukah today, in this generation, in our times, will infuse the world with light, infuse us with the ability to take our inner light, shine it on the entire world, create miracles, and ultimately, may it be immediately now, the miracle of the full and true redemption through Mashiach. Happy Chanukah. May we find ourselves in the third Beis HaMikdash immediately. Thanks so much.